So one of the biggest tech changes a lot of us have gone through recently is cutting cable TV. Now, it's not necessarily easier, and it's not even necessarily better, but it's a whole lot cheaper for a lot of us out there. So I did a video on this recently, and a lot of you came out and said, Phil, that's great, but what about HDHomerun? You kind of left that out. Boy, was I ever wrong. So here's the deal with HDHomerun. Yes, it's another box. You're gonna run your antenna into it via a coax cable, and then it's gonna hook in your network either over Wi-Fi or with Ethernet like I'm doing here at home. And once you've done that, that's kind of it. You have over-the-air TV for free on practically any device. There are actually 3 versions of HDHomerun. There's Extend, which is optimized for low bandwidth networks. There's a Prime, which is really meant for existing cable connections, including cable cards. So HDHomerun Connect is what I'm going to talk about here. It's $99. It's a tiny little box. You can get it on Amazon. I'll have a link down below in the description. And it essentially gives you a 2-tuner setup so you can watch 2 streams at once on different devices. So here's the setup. You're going to take an existing antenna, and I'll talk more about mine here in a second. Take the cable from that, plug it into the HDHomerun box, hook that up to your network, either over Wi-Fi or I'm using Ethernet here in my house. And that's pretty much it. Okay, you've got to decide what you want to watch it on, of course. And the cool thing is HDHomerun's available on almost every single device I can think of here. Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, Android, Amazon, Xbox. I'm forgetting one. I know I'm forgetting one. Apple TV, Android TV. Pretty much everything I have here that I've tried except Roku, and that's kind of a big miss. That's one big hole here, but that's really about the only hole. So once it's up and running, it scans the channels automatically, and you're able to watch live over-the-air television for free. So let's talk about quality. If you've been streaming for a while, you know this all too well. Bit rates aren't what they should be. Coming in over the air on this antenna though, at 1080p, it's been great. I mean, put it this way, I've been watching the Stanley Cup this week. Looks great over the antenna. Does not look anywhere near as good coming in over PlayStation View. So, okay, let's look at my antenna situation. Now, this was actually the hardest part of the process, and it's the one I've been putting off the longest, which is why I ended up using an indoor antenna that was facing the wrong way. That's not how to do things. So Antennas Direct hooked me up with a new outdoor antenna. It can also be used in an attic, by the way. It's called a 2 Max, and it looks like a proper antenna, right? So I screwed it into the side of my house, and I borrowed a previous coax connection that some helpful company already had run to all the rooms in my house. Thanks. So now we've got it all hooked up, it's time to watch TV. And the cool thing is, it's pretty much the same experience across all your devices. The app looks similar whether you're on a computer or on a phone or on a tablet. Android TV looks exactly the same. Apple TV, you have to use a third-party app, but again, easy enough. The one I'm using is Channels. It's really good. It's just a little expensive, but it looks great. And that's it. I mean, it's self-explanatory, right? It pulls down a guide so you can see what's on, what's coming up, and lets you flip through. Super simple. Now, the biggest question I get for this is, what about recording? What about DVR? There's not one easy answer that I've found yet. Now, if you have network attached storage, you're way ahead in the game. It actually works really well through Plex once you have it all set up. There are other ways to do it. HDHomerun actually has its own DVR service in beta and can pretty much record into any sort of hard drive anywhere. But again, you're gonna have to set it up, and it's not really the sort of thing I can just hand off to the non-nerd people in my family and expect them to get it figured out. It took me a while. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it can be done. But for me, I've got Plex up and running into my NOS box, and it works well. It just took a little setup is all. So yes, HDHomerun is awesome. I'm on board, highly recommend it. Yes, it's another $100 box, but it's so good, it's so easy. Really plug that gap in my content, especially now that I have an antenna facing the right way. Totally what I should have done in the first place, and it's the right thing to do in the long run. So if you got any more ideas of things I should do for this cord cutting life, let me know down in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, super important. Sign up for the newsletter, moderndad.com/newsletter. Unless it's going that way, moderndad.com/newsletter. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.